Hello, and welcome to October, which is Cybersecurity Month. It's our first live stream of Cybersecurity Month. We live in an ever-changing era of technology, and cyber attacks happen all the time. Because of this, it's imperative for businesses to prioritize cybersecurity and to foster a culture that promotes not only good cyber hygiene, but also the reporting of internal cybersecurity related issues, while also openly reporting information about cyber attacks with external parties. The recent Cybersecurity Disasters Survey by Keeper Security has uncovered some concerning trends of underreporting cyber incidents, both within and outside organizations. And today I'm going to be discussing how to promote internal cybersecurity reporting and the advantages of external reporting. Hello, I'm Michael Kinnett, CEO and founder of Eternal Networks, and every Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific on our Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and my personal LinkedIn pages, I go live to discuss the latest in technology and cybersecurity news that might affect you and your business. And this month being Cybersecurity Month, we're going to focus heavily on cybersecurity so that you're up on the latest information related to how to protect your business. At the end of our live session, I'll also be answering any questions from the audience. So if you've got any tech cybersecurity questions, get them ready. I'll make sure to cover those at the end. First off, the news. This is a very interesting one, and is a very scary one if this isn't a new the new trend, right? So threat actors are now deploying dual ransomware attacks over a 48-hour window, resulting in a combination of data encryption, exfiltration, and financial losses due to ransom payments. In the past, it would take a threat actor organization about 10 days to execute these type of attacks. But they're getting better, they're getting more effective, more efficient, and they're now accomplishing it within 48 hours. The FBI has reported that they've seen multiple times over the last several months, starting in about July, where this is happening, where dual strains of ransomware are deployed, resulting in either dual encryption, where encrypted files are then encrypted again, or some of the system encrypted one way and some of the system encrypted another way. So this is definitely a very scary trend. It's definitely even more critical now than it used to be to have systems in place to protect, detect, respond, and remediate. And your business needs to have a tested plan in place on how to respond to these type of incidents. Also in the news, the FTC has released some information. They just released a study showing that from January 2021 to June of 2023, Americans lost at least 2.7 billion, and that's billion with a capital B, dollars to social media scams. That just over that 18-month period. That equates to about $150 million each month. The FTC has also stated that the number is much higher because cybersecurity and scams are typically very underreported, which is what we're going to be talking about today. The FTC, as well as I've done this in the past, right, urge Americans to exercise caution. Safeguard yourselves against the scams that are common online. Be wary of unsolicited friend requests, romance requests, sales requests, right? Never send money to anybody that you haven't met in person. And don't do that. Don't even send any money to somebody you've met in person without reaching out to them via phone or other means outside of social media before sending any money. Be wary of companies selling products on social media and research them before making any purchase. Now, this is a good tip around this. So if you're going to buy something, let's say the company's name is Widgets by Mary or something. A good tip is to search that company name, so Widgets by Mary, followed by scams or complaints in Google, Bing, whatever your favorite search engine is, which will then show you what type of complaints and scam reports and posts are online with that company name to make you a little bit more aware of what's going on. Also, this is just a quick follow-up. I'm not going to dig into this one very deeply, but many people are now saying that the MGM ransomware attack has led to over $100 million in loss to MGM resorts. That's in addition to their downtime and everything else. So definitely a major attack there. I'm looking forward to hearing a little bit more as more news comes out about what the end result was and how the hackers got in and what exactly happened. I know we talked about it a couple weeks ago. A lot of that information was unverified that was being reported. So look forward to getting some of that verification, and I'll share that with you guys later on. So now on to our discussion. Why and how we should, you should be reporting cyber attacks in your business organization. And so some of the statistics I'm going to share came from this Keeper security survey. If you're not familiar with Keeper, they're a password management system. They take security extremely seriously over there. We've done in-depth analysis of multiple different password manager companies, and they consistently rank towards the top as far as the security that they have and the tools that they allow their customers to use to protect their passwords. So this is according to a survey that they did. They're saying that nearly half, 48% of IT and security leaders who experienced the cybersecurity incident did not report it to the proper authorities. Now, that's not necessarily too surprising to me. The next one is very surprising. 41% of those incidents were not reported to leadership within the company itself. That's surprising that high are not even reported to the company's leadership. Those that responded to the survey, 74% of them said that they were concerned about cybersecurity disasters negatively impacting their organization, and 40% of those have already experienced such incidents. Now, part of the survey also asked, why were they not reporting? And here's some information about that. So 43% of them said they didn't report because there was fear of repercussions. 40% said they were concerned about damaging their company's reputation. 40% said negative financial impacts. 36% said they didn't think it was necessary. 32% simply forgot. I don't know how you just simply forget. Oh yeah, I forgot that I had an attack on my computer the other day. But they just simply forgot to report that to the necessary people within their organizations. 22% of respondents mentioned the absence of a reporting system within their company. So because there was no reporting system, it wasn't reported. 25% believed that leadership would not care if a breach occurred. And 23% thought that their company wouldn't respond. They wouldn't do anything about it if it was reported anyway. So these are all very interesting to me, and some of them were a little bit surprising. Many of them were not. Some were a little bit surprising at how many thought or felt that way, or some of these reasons. So, which leads to this discussion, right? So, why does this matter, and what can an organization do to change it? First, it's you need to build a culture of cybersecurity with your organization, and some of that relates to the reporting of any incidents. For organizations that have compliance requirements, healthcare, FTC requirements, PCI requirements, right? Any industry that has specific regulations around it, this is important, right? And it all starts at the top, right? There needs to be leadership buy-in. Accountability starts with the company leaders, who must demonstrate a commitment to cybersecurity and lead by example. When leaders in an organization prioritize cybersecurity and cybersecurity incident reporting, employees are more likely to follow suit. It's also critical that regular cybersecurity training and awareness programs are in place within the organization. Employees should be educated about the types of cyber threats, the reporting process, and the importance of their role in safeguarding the company's digital assets, right? The leadership also needs to take the training, and they need to let their employees know that they're taking the training. That's a requirement of everybody. It needs to be a company policy that everybody receives the training. It's also important to implement non-punitive reporting policies that make sure that the employees understand and know that they will not face consequences for reporting security incidents. Encourage whistleblowing when necessary to uncover vulnerabilities or breaches. Also, it's important that you establish a streamlined and confidential reporting mechanism within the organization. Ensure that employees know how and where to report incidents, and make it easy for them to do so. Provide positive feedback and recognition to employees who report incidents properly. This helps create a culture where cybersecurity vigilance is valued and celebrated within the organization. And that leads to the next, right? So that's for internal reporting. That's important. The organization is never going to be able to make any changes to improve its cybersecurity and its cyber resilience if it doesn't know where those risks are and where the issues are, where the incidents are happening. And the next step is external reporting, right? So why should you report to external organizations? What are the benefits? What are the best practices? As I mentioned, there's some legal and regulatory compliance. For some organizations, reporting cyber attacks externally is often a requirement in many industries. And I think over time, we're going to see that expand to more and more, to where eventually it's probably going to cover all of us. Non-compliance can lead to significant penalties. Ensure the organization adheres to all the applicable regulations for your industry and for your specific company. Transparency and reporting can help mitigate reputational damage. Customers, partners, and stakeholders appreciate honesty and proactive communication in the event of a cyber incident. It's going to be much better for you to report it up front and say, hey, this is what's going on, this is how we're taking care of it, this is how we're handling it, than people finding out about it weeks later when it hits the news, or when they find out that they've been a victim of identity theft or something else has happened. Collaboration and threat mitigation, right? Sharing information about cyber attacks with external sources such as industry groups, law enforcement agencies, cybersecurity organizations. This all leads to collaborative efforts to mitigate threats and prevent future attacks. It's important that we work with those organizations and share the data so that we know what are the new trends. We're only able to identify those trends when we have enough data validated to see what's going on, right? To see, oh, more and more criminals are attacking in this manner or in that manner, or they're getting through this type of software or this type of hardware. The more we know, the more we can then mitigate and implement measures across all industries to protect ourselves and prevent any future attacks. Timely and honest reporting also demonstrates a commitment to customer trust and data protection, which can enhance customer loyalty and retention in the long run. Another important point here, if you have cyber insurance, it is critical that you report to them as soon as possible. Reporting cyber incidents to your insurance provider is critical for any potential claim that you may have. Additionally, it helps in risk assessment and tailoring cybersecurity strategies to address specific vulnerabilities. So I've been in Miami all week at a conference, and talking with many of the industry experts and my peers about the threats that are facing organizations in the United States and really around the world. The threats are real. Let me just tell you, there's some of the stuff that I learned this week about how these criminals are bypassing security and how they're getting in and doing things, and how it relates to your insurance. So if you have insurance and you're not involving them as soon as possible, there is a high likelihood you are not going to get your claim paid. If you go in, so traditionally in our industry, 10 years ago, if a client, called us up and said, hey, we've got a virus on our computer, we would have gone in, wiped the computer, reinstalled Windows, restored everything, got them back up and running the same day, maybe the next day if it was really bad. That can't happen anymore. So if you are going in and touching anything related to a breach or a cyber incident, you're potentially tampering with evidence. And your insurance provider, in coming in and doing any forensics to determine if it's valid and going to be paid out, they may invalidate that, saying, well, we don't know what happened. We don't know if this was an inside job. We don't know if it was this or that, because the evidence has been tampered or deleted, and your claims may not be paid as a result. So it's important that you report to your insurance providers as soon as possible, even if it's just to ask a question. Hey, this is what happened. Is this something that we need to get anybody else involved in? That's what they're there for, right? You're already paying them for that. Get them involved, report to them, and they will definitely offer some counsel and guidance in helping with that. By reporting cyber incidents externally, companies can also be contributing to the public awareness of evolving cyber threats. I talked about this a little bit before, right? The information shared can help others take proactive measures to protect their systems. The more we work together and collaborate together, the more secure we're all going to be. And that's definitely a takeaway I took from my conference this week, that really there's an amazing group in the industry that are striving to do everything that they can to provide these protections. And the more we work together, the better the protections are going to be. At Eternal Networks, our team specializes in safeguarding your business from evolving cyber threats. Our experts not only help you establish a culture of cybersecurity transparency, but also ensure that your internal and external cyber threats are reported effectively and hopefully prevented. More and more, though, everybody in the industry is saying it's not a matter of if, it's more a matter of when an organization has a cyber incident. So having all of these things in place, having the culture of cybersecurity transparency, the ability to report and respond and plan effectively, all of these will help your organization to weather any type of incident that comes through. You can message me personally if you have any questions about any of this, schedule an appointment with our team. There's a link posted in the chat or below. We'd love to chat with you. I love talking with people about cybersecurity and about educating people about the risks that are out there. So many of the risks that are out there really can be mitigated just by awareness and knowledge and training. So, if you've got any questions, I'd gladly chat with you about it. Just a heads up, we do have a webinar coming up on the calendar for October 19th. We're teaming up with our friends over at Sophos. That's another one. That's one of those vendors I mentioned that's part of this industry that's really striving as much as possible to share information and provide protections. We're going to be diving into the current state of cybersecurity, especially since, as I mentioned, it's Cybersecurity Awareness Month this month. With the recent headlines about MGM and Caesars falling victim to cyber attacks, we thought it'd be a great time to focus our presentation on how to prevent those types of attacks. It's a reminder that even big companies spending millions in security can be targeted, and smaller businesses might be seen as very tempting targets by cybercriminals. In fact, one of the presentations at my conference, they talked about the rising number of attacks on small business. The attacks on small business is rising exponentially faster than on enterprises because they know that these criminals know that you're vulnerable. They're kind of taking the Walmart approach, right? Well, it doesn't matter if they get a $50 million payout if they can go get 100, 50,000, 100,000 smaller payouts that are easier to get in, easier attack, quicker payouts. And so they're definitely shifting their focus to these small businesses. And these small businesses are definitely seen as tempting targets to these cyber criminals today. Thanks for joining us today. Let me see if I don't see any comments or questions from the live audience. So if you do have any questions, as mentioned, you can always send me a direct message, call our office, email us, go to our website, itnet.works. Hopefully you have a wonderful weekend, and we'll catch you next week.